Yo, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning in to another episode of It's Just Mario, and I'm Mario Ramone, your host. And today we are going to do more of a serious show. This show is entitled You Can Make It Through, okay? No matter what it is, you can make it through. And the reason I say that is I do my best to be as positive as I can, and it's just how I am. I mean, it's just how I am. I choose to have my glass half full instead of half empty. And when you live positive, and you try and talk to people, it's kind of like they don't think that you've ever been through anything because you don't let what you've been through show on your spirit. Okay, and I know I've had friends and even coworkers, when they're having a bad day and I'm talking to them, and I even have a friend right now, Gigi. She always says, she's like, "What the hell are you so happy for?" Like, I've never met anybody like so happy, and it is a decision, and it has taken growth for me to even get here in my life. There was a time when I was an introvert, and I wasn't happy, and I just did some destructive behavior to myself all the way around, just all the way around. I let people abuse me. I abused myself, and there were times when I couldn't even control the abuse, actually. And right now, I do want to say this is the first show that I've ever done where I'm going to ask my parents to turn it off. Like, turn it off, because I'm about to get real, and I know that you guys have never heard this story, and I don't wish for you to hear it right now. And if you do want to continue to watch, and we'll talk about this. And but I did have to talk about this with a counselor, number one, and other friends in order to grow, okay, and get over the hurdle that I was behind, okay. But just because, like I said, I decide, to be a good person, or choose, or it's in my cores, in my spirit, or whatever you want to interpret, or, say is a good person. But I'm just going to say, just because I laugh and I choose to be positive, and I choose to love and hug and kiss and tell people every chance I get how much I love them, and every time I see you, it's a choice. But I wasn't always there. There were times when I was a child, I was abused, and we're going to say physically and sexually, by my mom's ex-boyfriend, or a boyfriend or two, actually. And at that time, my mom was young, and you see, being an adult, how your parents can make decisions and things that that you can just see how the decisions can be made, okay? And when you're a child, you're like, what's going on? But when you get to be older, you can see, what people have gone through, and you're like, I get it. It's like an aha moment, as Oprah says. But my mom dated guys who, and it wasn't all the time. But sometimes is enough. Like, you can go to McDonald's and have 100 hamburgers that are perfect, but when you get 2 that have maggots in it, you're going to remember the 2. Now, the first boyfriend, I just remember one time, I don't even think I did anything. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to act like I got this little halo over my head, this little invisible halo. But I mean, I wasn't a bad child. You can look at me and I'd be like, yes sir, yes ma'am. I was a good kid. And that's per my aunties and uncles, and everybody can come in, and validate for me. But I just remember he just hit me from one room to the other. It was like literally from the dining room to the living room. And I just remember him looking at me kind of mean, and he punched me. And as soon as I got to my feet, it was winter. As soon as I got to my feet, I was barefooted. I ran out the door in the snow around the corner to this restaurant called Miss Smith. And she always would give, I was the oldest of 6, and we didn't have a whole bunch of money. We ain't had no money. Okay, so she would always give us her donuts, at her restaurant, and wings, and different things like that. So I felt that restaurant was a safe haven for me. So I ran there and I called my grandmother, and I was like, he just hit me, yeah. So he came around the corner and came and got me. Oh my God, like I was so freaking scared. So he got me to the house and he did whatever he was gonna do. All right, so. And then another situation, I will never forget this. This is like a turning point, like in my life. It was a boyfriend that my mom had, and I came home from school, and he was like, "Why did you leave the TV on?" And I was like, "I didn't leave the TV on." And so he acted like he walked around the corner. I didn't leave the TV on. I've been going to school all day. I don't know what he's talking about. And I wasn't smart, like, condescending or anything. So he walked around the corner. And then I was talking to my grandma again, and we were going to go to Hartford, Connecticut. And he turned around the corner, and he punched me in my eye. And all I saw was stars. And then he, kind of grabbed me from my shirt and, slung me into a mirror. And that's when I got these little cuts right here. I still have them. But he slung me, and I just started bleeding, and it was just horrible. And then he kicked me in my ribs and fractured my ribs, and I was running through the house, and I was calling my mom, but she wasn't there. I was like, Mom, like, where are you? Like, I was just freaking out. And my siblings were freaking out. Like, my sisters were screaming bloody murder, and they were like, leave my brother alone, leave my brother alone. And I remember running into my bedroom, and we had 2 bunk beds. And I was at one end, and he was at the other end. And so he was gonna try and run in on me, and I took the bunk beds and I kind of slung them to the side. And I must have been in the 5th grade. I was in the 5th grade. But I just had the adrenaline and the power to, sling those beds to the side. Then I climbed on top of the bed and I ran in the kitchen, and I'm still calling my mom. And then when I was in the kitchen, I was kind of backed up against a wall. And then he came in and he said, "I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker." And I saw it in his eyes, and he was serious. He was just like, "I am going to kill you." And I knew I was about to die because I saw it in his eyes. So I looked, and I didn't know what to do, and I was just frozen. And he ran towards me, and I got a frying pan, and I hit him in the top of the head. And then, because he wasn't that tall, he's maybe 5'9" or so, and I was a pretty tall dude. So I hit him in the top of the head, and he passed out. And then I ran downstairs, and somehow 911 got called, or the police came, and then they took me away to the hospital. I was all messed up. They took me away from my mom and my siblings, and I had to stay in this home medicine bomb center. And I'll never forget the first night I was there, they stripped me naked, and the state took pictures of me, and oh my God, it was just horrible. And then I went to this, I had to take a shower, and I went to this room with these children. And they were like, nobody's ever going to adopt you. Nobody wants us and all this. And this is going through my mind. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gone from my mom. I'm gone from my siblings. What's up? What is happening? And I say that to say, yes, it was horrible. And that was not even, that's the appetizer. That's the spinach dip. You have not even gotten to the prime rib and asparagus and taters and stuff. But I say that to say I made a choice to be happy. I've made a choice to be productive in society and know that you can make it through. And I'm not just saying it when I tell people you can make it through. I'm not just saying it because to say it. I'm saying it because I've made it through. And this is a testimony, and I wanted to share it. And it's not all laughs and games with me, guys. I know sometimes you think it is, but it's not. So when I say you can make it through, I say with experience, and I love you. This was a hard thing for me to say, and I do even love the people who did this to me. And my cousin with the sexual abuse, that's a whole nother show. When I found him, he got murdered. So I never asked him, why did you do this to me? you know. So it is what it is, and it's life, and I love everybody, okay.